Sports Grill with your host, Jock Wilson. Beers, barbecue, sports, and spirits. A production of Adventure Marketing Company in association with Jock Talk Communications.
Think about this for a second. Man blames fate for most accidents, but feels personally responsible when he makes a hole-in-one. Oh, that's good. It's good. Oh, man, I love this game. Hi, I'm Jock Wilson, and welcome to the Sports Grill. What an outstanding show we have planned for you today. Stephen Ames, a PGA Tour star. He's an Alberta resident, and he will join us on a beverage break as we will learn how to make a hole-in-one shooter. John Wilson is the director of golf at Heritage Point, and he has a great barbecuing recipe. It is called lemon pepper chicken. It's to die for. Beers, barbecue, sports, and spirits. That's what the Sports Grill is all about, and today, it's all about golf.
Sports Grill is brought to you by TAC Mobility, your TELUS Mobility Center, with over 24 locations in Alberta and British Columbia.
It's always important to hit a few balls before a round of golf, and look who we find on the driving range at Heritage Point, the director of golf, John Wilson. How you doing, sir?
Good to see you, Jocko. I'm glad you found the range. First time all year, huh?
Is that what they call this place, the range?
I think so, yeah. This is our practice facility up here, buddy.
And a beautiful practice facility it is. John Wilson, a lot of people don't know this, 1999, he was honored by the Canadian Professional Golfers Association as the CPGA Club Professional of the Year. That was a big honor for you.
It was a huge honor. I think anytime you get recognized by your peers, it makes it that much more special, and it was great for me and my family, so.
No doubt about that, but the one thing we do want to stress is it's a little different lifestyle, both money-wise and work-wise, when you're a club professional compared to a touring professional.
Absolutely. I think my time is best spent in my office, and their time for sure is best spent out on the golf course. And yeah, there's a little bit of a financial difference too.
Hey, tell me, golf in this country is booming. I was reading some stats recently. 1 in 5 Canadians are playing this game in Alberta. It's the highest participation rate in the country. Why is this game so popular right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the game of a lifetime. Whether you're a young kid like my two boys, 5 and 8, they play. They've been playing for a couple of years and they love it. And I think if you're older, it's a great source of exercise. And certainly there's a lot of business conducted out on the golf course. And fastest growing segments for sure the women. And I think that they're starting to enjoy it and use it as a business tool as well.
That's very interesting. And you talk about your kids, and of course everybody knows the Tiger Woods story. He started at such a young age. Do you see more and more kids out here now?
Absolutely, and I think the biggest thing is now golf's considered to be cool. Before it was kind of it was a bit of a geek or an old man sport, where the plaid pants or the knickers like you're wearing.
Those aren't knickers. Those are +4s. Knickers are women's underwear.
Well, yeah, I don't know if those quite qualify as +4s there, buddy.
So you're telling me these aren't cool anymore?
I don't think so.
Oh, so you wouldn't let me
But they look good on you.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't let those on the golf course?
Well, with your rain pants over top, it wouldn't be a problem. I just don't want you to be embarrassed out there.
I don't get embarrassed that easily. Yeah. Hey, listen, I know you got a great barbecue recipe for us on the Sports Grill, and this is a barbecuing show. But before we get to that, what is a good pre-shot routine for a warm-up for any, whether you're an amateur golfer or a good handicapper? Is there a good amount of time to spend out here?
Yeah, I think if you before a round when you're going out, I think the biggest thing is to go up and loosen up properly. Hit lots of wedges, and that will help to strengthen and lengthen your muscles, and then work towards the driver. If you're going out to practice, go out with a purpose. If you're having difficulty with your short game, then you should spend some time on that. If you're having difficulty driving the ball in the fairway, then you should be working on your driver. And if you're having any trouble, you should visit your local professional.
I may not be the best player in the world, but I am one of the best eaters in the world, and I understand you got a good recipe for us here on the Sports Grill.
Well, I think it's pretty good. It's lemon pepper chicken, and it was a hand-me-down from my mom. I was very fortunate growing up. My mom was an awesome cook, and since then, her and 7 of her friends have produced 6 cookbooks, and it's one that she turned over to me. So we're going to give it a go, and I think you'll like it.
Lemon pepper chicken coming up on the Sports Grill. Let's get our. I won't even warm up. I want to go cook. So let's do it, Johnny.
Let's get at it.
All right, perfect. Where did it go?
Sports Grill Backyard Breakaway. Brought to you by Cattle Boys Barbecue Sauce. Now available at major grocery stores and barbecues galore.
What a beautiful backdrop for the Sports Grill. The barbecue is set up with the Island Green, Heritage 9 in the background. And John, this is a high-risk, high-reward hole. It's a par 5 and one of my favorite here.
Certainly one of my favorite too. I think it's a great finishing hole, Jock. It's a downhill par 5 to an island green. The better players are going to probably hit the green in 2 and have an eagle chance. Or you can choose to lay it up and hit a wedge onto the green. You're still going to have a good birdie opportunity. So it's a great way to finish your round and lots of fun.
27 holes here at DeWinton. Do you have a favorite?
Well, I got 27 favorites, but I think if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Heritage number 4, which we call Long and Mean. 460-yard par 4 that plays usually into a wind, very undulating green, and it's a difficult par and very few birdies on that hole.
I have a great story from Heritage Point. A number of years ago, you weren't here, you've been here for 9 years, but when the course was just opening, Lori Kane, before she joined the LPGA Tour, she was doing the Du Maurier series here. And I had the pleasure to play with Lori Kane. It was really quite funny because I beat her on the first hole, Desert 1. I make a par. She's out of the bunker and she makes a 5, and I'm thinking, geez, I'm pretty darn good at this game. She ends up shooting at 69. I shot at 85, and I've never been so embarrassed in my life. But it was fun. How about yourself? You've been to the Masters, not as a player, but you've been to the Masters. What about yourself? Any good stories?
Well, I think lots of stories from the Masters. That was the first year Tiger won. That was 1997, and ended up lapping the field, and that was pretty incredible to see because Tiger was pretty popular then, but that certainly that was his first major.
Hey, no doubt about that. We're here to cook on the Sports Grill. This is the year of the best. The Best of Bridge presents. We talked about John's mom. John's mom is more famous than Mr. Wilson here because she's the author of the family. And this recipe that we're going to do is not in this book, but this book you can pick up anywhere at any great bookstore in Alberta or else at the Heritage Point Pro Shop as well. Lemon pepper chicken. Give us the inside scoop on this, Johnny.
Well, it's a recipe that we've kind of handed down, and you put lots of lemon juice into your chicken, lots of ground peppers, some red chilies, a little bit of onion, some parsleys, a little bit of salt, and if you can, marinate it overnight. If not, let it marinate for a couple hours. Really keeps some moisture in. Throw it on the grill for about 10-12 minutes, and voila, it's done, and tons of flavor.
Well, I tell you what, that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to throw it. The grill is preheated here on the Sports Grill, so we will put the lemon pepper chicken on the grill, and that really does look good, doesn't it?
Like to have a good little sizzle. That kind of keeps all the moisture in. And
exactly. It's funny, John, because I was talking about food, and since this is a cooking show, when I play golf, I always like to stop for a hot dog after 9 and maybe a beer as well. But then I never seem to get back into my rhythm. Is that a good thing or a bad thing to stop to eat after 9 holes?
Well, I think it's okay to eat, but maybe you should watch what you're eating. A cold Molson Canadian and a hot dog is probably not the best thing. Maybe next time try maybe a tuna fish sandwich on some whole wheat and maybe a juice. It's important to keep keep your energy up, but I think it's also important to eat somewhat healthy when you're playing golf. Hot dogs and beer are great for after at the barbecue.
Hey, what do you think of my hat, by the way?
Well, I think it's very trimming on you, Doc. It looks very good, very good.
I need that help without a doubt. The lemon pepper chicken is grilling up here on the Sports Grill, and what's going on behind us, actually, it's the Flames Alumni Charity Golf Tournament. And you know what, Johnny? I know tournaments are very, very important for the business of golf, aren't they?
Absolutely. I think, the charity events really kind of got going here. I think the last, 12, 15 years, you think about the Willow Park Classic here in Calgary, which is probably the longest standing one, but it's amazing. I mean, we probably have 20 to 25 major charity events, and with those charity events, last year we raised close to $2 million.
Wow.
So it's a great way to raise money, and I think people here in Calgary are so giving, and it's a great event like the one we have going on today.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's a rumor that maybe Heritage Point will be hosting the Buy.com tour in 2003. I know you were trying to get the celebrity tour, Michael Jordan and the boys here as well. Can you give us an update?
Well, I don't think either one's really a dead issue. I think right now the Buy.com is probably the most realistic event. We're certainly working on it for an 03, probably an August start date, and we've been in communication with the PGA Tour and with some of the key sponsors, and I think there'll be a Buy.com event here in 03. I think is a real reality.
Yeah, hey, that would be outstanding, not only for the province, but good for the golf community as well. I tell you what, while these lemon pepper chickens are grilling up here on the Sports Grill, we're going to go around the golf course and check out some of the celebrities here for the Flames Alumni Masters Ticketmaster Golf Tournament.
Gee, what a game! I gotta take it up for a living.
You know what? you got to have a rivalry. And as you go through the sporting world, you have a lot of memories, a lot of good times, you win cups, etc. But the things that stick out are the things that game after game, and every time we had the Edmonton Oilers coming up, you could lose 10 in a row, win and beat the Edmonton Oilers, you'd save your job as a coach, and you were guaranteed that the buildings were full for it. So right now we're crying in our sports for some kind of color, some kind of pizzazz. You got to go back to the rivalry. You mentioned, Jock, the Alberta rivalry, Edmonton Oilers, Calgary Flames, one of the best.
You won a cup and you couldn't save your job, coach.
You know what? I shouldn't have won that cup. I should have come close again. Guys who win it, they get fired. Guys who don't, they keep their job. But you know what? We had fun doing it.
Life, it couldn't be any better.
You know, Perry, this is a funny story because, of course, you're an Edmonton boy and you have the most famous goal in Flames history. Tell us about that story one more time.
Well, that would be me going through the entire team of the Edmonton Oilers and go sitting on the bench, and Steve Smith scoring in the back of Grant Fuhr's leg. That was something else. All I did was dump it in, turn around, go to sit down on the bench, and just before I'd sat down, Steve Smith picked it up in the corner, banked it off of Grant Fuhr's goaltender's leg into the net, and that ended up being the winning goal of the game and the series. So put the mighty Oilers out for 1 year anyway.
All right, the lemon pepper chicken is done here on the Sports Grill, and Johnny Wilson, that is looking very fine.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jock. It does look good, doesn't it?
Okay, again, just to recap, cooking procedure, chicken, you got to make sure it is cooked. You don't want to see any pink in there.
No, I think it's even better if it's a little bit overcooked. You don't want to chance it that salmonella or anything else. So, you know, usually 10, 12 minutes is good. Good hot barbecue, let it sizzle a little bit, and you're good to go.
I'm just dying to try this. Can I try this?
Let's give it a go.
Okay. I'm not going to feed you, by the way. You're going to do your own.
Not bad, huh?
It's no wonder you have the figure like me, pal. Your mom's recipe. Your mom did well.
Yeah, she did all right. A little bit of rice, maybe a baked potato, and lots of vegetables. Asparagus, green beans, you're laughing.
Oh, that is outstanding. Well, I tell you what, John Wilson, and we should thank John Toon, your food and beverage manager here too, because he set this barbecue up for us and got the ingredients all for us. So I do want to thank him. And I got to ask you this question too before we go: hole-in-one shooter. Have you ever had a hole-in-one shooter?
I haven't had a hole-in-one shooter, but I did have a hole-in-one shot.
Did you have a hole-in-one shot? When did you have a hole-in-one?
I had a hole-in-one last August. We were down in London for the Canadian Club Pro. And we went to play a practice round at a golf course called St. Thomas. Old golf course, beautiful golf course, 232 yards, playing with Patrick Coley from Carmody, Brett Burgesson from Carstairs, and Gary Ward from the Edmonton Country Club, and knocked my one iron right in the hole.
Come on, a one iron.
One iron, 232 yards. So that was pretty cool.
God can't even hit a one iron, it's unbelievable, and you did.
Well, once in a while.
Well, I tell you what's coming up on the Sports Grill, a hole-in-one shooter with a PGA Tour star, Stephen Ames, so go nowhere. Keep it right here on Global.
Sports Grill Backyard Breakaway. Brought to you by Cattle Boys Barbecue Sauce. Now available at major grocery stores and barbecues galore. Sports Grill is brought to you by TAC Mobility, your TELUS Mobility Center with over 24 locations in Alberta and British Columbia. And McDonald's. There's a little McDonald's in everyone.
Hi, this is Joel Otto, and you're watching The Sports Grill with Jock Wilson.
Sports Grill Barbecue Tips. Brought to you by Barbecues Galore, Canada's best selection of barbecues, parts, and accessories.
So your barbecue is still in fantastic shape, but you are experiencing hot spots. Ross Mickelson is from Barbecues Galore. He's here to help us out in the Sports Grill. And Ross, the first thing you've got to do is check your burner.
You bet. So take it out and check it all around. If you can find a hole like this on the top or the sides, you know it's time for a new burner.
That is a well-used burner.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the different burners on the market.
Okay. Material-wise, this one is an aluminized steel, and you can tell it's aluminized by that dull flat finish. It'll last about a year or two. This is a stainless steel burner. It's probably the most popular, and it'll last 5 to 8 years. This is a cast iron burner, and it'll last about 15 years or so. And this is a cast brass burner, and it'll last 20 or 30 years.
Obviously a little more expensive. This is a universal burner. Talk about the difference of buying that unit compared to one that actually fits your barbecue.
The idea with the universal burner is the tubes are to be bent to match the original shape of your Venturi tubes. It's a little difficult to do, and if you don't do it properly, it can be a safety hazard. So if you can find the original burner, do it.
Hey, great advice on the Sports Grill. Hanging out at the Heritage Point Pro Shop, John Wilson's Pro Shop here on the Sports Grill. And what are we doing here? Well, we're actually on the barber chair from the Drumheller pen. What is this doing in a pro shop? Well, the pros here at Heritage Point use this for shoe fitting. I'm using it as my shooter chair because coming up next on the Sports Grill, we're going to learn how to make a hole-in-one shooter with PGA Tour player Stephen Ames. Don't go anywhere.
Sports Grill is brought to you by TAC Mobility, your TELUS Mobility Center with over 24 locations in Alberta and British Columbia, and Norampac, serving Albertans for over 50 years.
Hi, this is Jim Poplinski, and you're watching the Sports Grill with Jock Wilson.
It's time for a beverage break on the Sports Grill, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be joined by an Alberta resident, a PGA Tour player, Stephen Ames. Stephen, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, real good.
Excellent. Great day for golf, obviously, and here's the deal on the Sports Grill. I'm going to teach you how to make a hole-in-one shooter because it is a beverage break.
Okay.
First of all, have you ever had a hole-in-one shooter?
No.
You've never had a hole? Have you ever had a hole-in-one?
Oh, I've had a few. Yeah.
How many?
11.
11 aces.
11 aces.
Come on.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Why not?
How many in competition?
I've had 2 in competition so far.
So far.
So far.
That's got to be memorable, eh? When you see the ball go in the hole.
What's really memorable is when you see the ball go in the hole and you see all the people on the sides fall off their chairs. That's the memorable part because you're laughing at them. You're not laughing at the fact that you've made the hole in one. No, it's some of them are really fun and some of them aren't. Yeah.
Some people say a hole-in-one is fluke, but if you have 11, I can't say that's a game of chance anymore. Obviously, there's something going on for Stephen Ames.
Some of them are lucky and some of them aren't.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, definitely. You've seen a couple of them when they've pulled it left, hit the tree, and rolled down into the hole. It happened. You've done that, haven't you?
Oh yes, obviously, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. There's some of them, and then there's some that are just absolutely perfect, and they're like, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it went in the hole. You know? It does happen.
Is there one shot that does stand out in Stephen Ames' mind that the hole-in-one, or no?
No, it doesn't.
You probably make lots of good shots, so they're all memorable, right?
Yeah, right. There are a few.
Well, listen, I'm gonna teach Stephen Ames how to make a hole-in-one shooter, and the key with the hole-in-one shooter is Midori. Have you ever seen Midori before?
No, nice bottle though.
And Midori is a Japanese liqueur, and actually it's made from honeydew melon. And it's the right color because it's green, right?
That's right, it goes
green.
with
Green is right. So the Midori goes into the shooter first, and you just about 3/4 of an ounce. So you put in the 3/4 of an ounce. That's pretty close, isn't it?
That's about 3/4.
Oops, that was a little too much. Might have
That's
to
all right.
take some of that off.
Yeah, take
now,
it.
the way the recipe goes, it does call for apple brandy. Apple brandy is very tough to find, but you know what? I think it's too sweet with apple brandy, so I just use the regular brandy. Regular brandy's better.
Okay.
So I'm going to use the regular brandy. What you want to do is you want to layer it, okay? The hole-in-one shooter, so you layer it.
So that's what you call layering. You
Well,
throw a straw on top of it?
Close enough, close enough.
Oh, okay.
You've never layered before?
No, never layered.
Never layered before. So there you go, a little bit of layering.
Okay.
And now this is what's going to really make the hole-in-one shooter. And it sort of looks like a hole, doesn't it?
Yes.
So you take a little bit of Bailey's, a little cream, and you put it right down in the middle. Look at that. A hole-in-one. Hole-in-one shooter.
There you go. Hole-in-one shooter.
Look at that. There's the hole-in-one shooter. You see how that is there? Looks
Just
like
sit there in the middle like a golf ball.
looks like the
doesn't it,
cup in the hole, doesn't it?
huh? Yeah, never.
Okay, I tell you what, we're going to get to these hole-in-one shooters very quickly here on the Sports Group, but I want to talk a little bit of golf because it's not often I get to talk to a celebrity on the PGA Tour like Stephen Ames. And I got to ask you first of all, Stephen, you live in Calgary. You're a resident of Alberta. I guess the big question, and I'm sure you've been asked this all the time, is why Alberta? Why Calgary? Because heck, you should be living in Florida, right? You could be playing golf, 365 days of the year.
There's the reason why.
Is
you
that
don't
right?
want to play golf 365
Really?
days of the year. No, you don't. You want to get away from the game. And for me, living here in Calgary, to look at days like this,
What are the other benefits of being an Alberta-based professional in the PGA Tour? Are there? I see Pengrowth on your one of your sponsors. Obviously, Callaway is one of your sponsors as well. You know, there's no one else that can tap into those Calgary head offices, is there?
No, lucky for me.
Yeah,
lucky
exactly.
For me. No, I've had the opportunity now that I'm living here in Calgary. Pengrowth has come along with me, helping me sponsor, getting their name out there now that they're on the New York Stock Exchange is helping them also. And they're rubbing my back, I'm rubbing their back, and it's wonderful. We have a wonderful relationship with them. Callaway Golf, I've been with them for almost 12 years now, and it's a nice relationship there. And you know, there are a lot of good things, a lot of good reasons for living here also.
Stephen Ames has hit the $1 million mark on the PGA Tour, the magic $1 million mark, and I guess if you're Tiger Woods, it's not that much,
10.
but it is. Yeah, it's $10 million. Has it changed you? You know, are you a beer guy or are you a champagne guy?
No, it's still beer.
Still a beer guy?
Still a beer and Bailey's at night. That's it, same thing. Now maybe a hole-in-one at night, I don't know.
So do you set goals for yourself as an individual, as an athlete?
As an athlete, I think some of us set mental goals and others set physical goals in the sense of money-wise and stuff like that. And this year for me, the biggest change has been a mental goal. I've set more mental goals and the play-wise standard has gone up for me, you know, while setting mental goals. So, and that's probably why I've made so much money this year, or played so well this year. So I think I'm going to continue doing the mental goals and not the goal, money goal-wise. So it's been a big help.
How does a young guy from Trinidad and Tobago make it to the PGA Tour? You don't see too many guys from the Caribbean on the tour.
No, I think for me it was the fact that I loved the game so much when growing up, and it gave me such a fulfillment playing the game that it carried me, my natural ability carried me for so many years, extended for so many years to get there, and for me to leave home and then come up to the States and try and play or try and make it, I didn't know if I was going to make it. You know, so just the ambition, the drive was so deep within me that it pushed me to where I am right now, which is wonderful. And you don't know till you try.
Right.
You know, and if you don't give you opportunity of trying to try and make it or do something that you enjoy or love doing, you don't know. You're not going to sit down when you're 50 or 60 years old and sit down and go, I wonder if I'd tried this, if I'd made it. You know, at least I've tried and now I know I've made it.
Right.
In that sense that, you know, I've had the opportunity, which is nice.
Well, the Sports Grill is a cooking show, a barbecuing show, and so a nice segue into the Masters, Augusta.
Right.
Now, if Stephen Ames was to win the Masters at Augusta, you'd get the pleasure to pick your own champions dinner. Wow. So, well, what would Stephen Ames take?
Actually, what we call it, from home it's called, it's pronounced pelao.
Pelao.
But it's something similar to the Spanish paella, which is with the seafood, but we do it with beef or chicken. And it's similar where it's got it's rice and it's peas inside of it, and it's not the same color, it's actually a browner color,
right,
because we brown the sugar with it.
Well, when we have more time, we'll have to bring the cameras over and let you cook that for us. That'd be kind of fun.
Sure.
But we should get to this hole-in-one shooter. So I tell you what, a hole-in-one, this is number 12 for Stephen Ames, because as he told us off the top, he actually has had 11 aces. So, Stephen, this has been great. And oh, by the way, you're supposed to yell 4 before you shoot this.
Okay.
4.
4.
Ah, that's not bad, eh?
Sports Grill is brought to you by TAC Mobility, your TELUS Mobility Center with over 24 locations in Alberta and British Columbia, and Japanese Village.
Have a good time, Japanese Village.
Hi, I'm Bearcat Murray, and you're watching the Sports Grill with Jock Wilson.
Sports Grill is brought to you by TAC Mobility, your TELUS Mobility Center with over 24 locations in Alberta and British Columbia.
So the day is coming to a close here on the Sports Grill, and what a great day it has been. Really want to thank Stephen Ames, a PGA touring player, for preparing the hole-in-one shooter. Very special thanks to John Wilson, the director of golf at Heritage Point. His lemon pepper chicken was fabulous. So what do we do now? We stay here in the 19th hole. We play a little bit of dice, have some fun. That was a good round today, Brian. Thank you very much, and cheers. See you next time on the Sports Grill.
Sports Grill with your host, Jock Wilson. Beers, barbecue, sports, and spirits. A production of Adventure Marketing Company in association with Jock Talk Communications.